Joining us now to weigh in on this topic is NDP Member of Parliament and ethics critic Matthew Green. Mr. Green, a bill that proposes bypassing federal law and policies. Why go this far? Is this showing a larger problem the provinces are having, specifically Alberta, with the Trudeau government?
No, not at all. In fact, I think quite the contrary. It's showing a trend among provincial premiers who really don't want to be accountable to federalism. They want all the transfer funds and none of the responsibility. So what we're seeing in Alberta, what we're hearing about in Saskatchewan, I think is a continuation of what we just witnessed here in Ontario with Doug Ford invoking the notwithstanding clause. We have premiers who are increasingly trying to concentrate their power so that they can basically usurp the constitutional responsibilities they have to federalism.
And what do you make of Prime Minister Trudeau's response to the introduction of Bill 1? How might the federal government step in here?
Look, the federal government has a responsibility to Canadians from coast to coast to coast to ensure their rights are protected, their democracy is protected, and the constitutional powers are upheld. What we're challenged with is that we seem to kind of pick and choose when this applies and how it applies, and it seems to be more about political calculus than it does about the legal and longstanding impacts that it might have. So, what we're interested in is ensuring that, the Health Act is respected in Alberta in the same way that it needs to be respected in Ontario and across the entire country.
Has this ever been done before? Might other provinces now follow suit?
Other provinces are absolutely paying close attention, as they were to Doug Ford with the notwithstanding clause. That was a test. Fortunately, working class people across the province stood up, unions pushed back, and Doug Ford relented. But I think what they're doing is floating these trial balloons to see just how much they can get away with. And certainly we've watched this play out in Quebec. And I think that provinces like Saskatchewan, and we're even hearing some of this rhetoric coming from Manitoba, that ultimately serves to undermine federalism and our constitutional democracy.
And why might it be dangerous for provinces to pick and choose which federal laws to abide by and which to just sidestep?
Well, I think one of the values of having a federal constitutional democracy here in Canada is that Canadians ought to be accorded fundamental rights regardless of where they live. That if somebody from Ontario decided to move to Alberta or Quebec or wherever they might find themselves, that they should be afforded through the Charter of Rights and Freedoms a basic level of rights and services and programs, including things like healthcare and education.
Thank you for joining us tonight, NDP MP Matthew Green.
Thank you for having me on.